When people think about hearing aids, it usually comes down to one simple question: can I hear conversations clearly again? And honestly, that is still the most important part. But after spending time with both Techmi Facepro and Tomore Mini Pro 6120, it becomes clear that modern hearing aids do more than just make things louder. Both are affordable OTC options made for mild to moderate hearing loss. One leans into smart features and connectivity, while the other keeps things simple and discreet. So if you are trying to figure out which one fits your needs better, let us break down what it actually feels like to live with each one. These two hearing aids go in completely different directions when it comes to design. The Facepro looks a lot like a modern wireless earbud. It uses a receiver in canal design, so part of it sits behind your ear while the speaker rests inside the ear canal. And because of that, if you've used Bluetooth earbuds before, it'll feel pretty familiar right away. Now the Tomore takes a different route. It's much smaller and sits almost entirely inside the ear. So once it's in place, there's a good chance people won't even notice you're wearing it. And that's really where the difference starts. If you want something as discreet as possible, the Tomore definitely has the advantage. It's small, lightweight, and easy to forget it's even there after a while. The Facepro, on the other hand, feels a bit more practical day to day. Since it's larger, the controls are easier to reach, and we found it easier to put on and take off. As for comfort, both did a good job. They come with multiple ear tip sizes, although Tomore gives you a few more options to work with. Once we found the right fit, both stayed secure and comfortable, even during longer listening sessions. This is where things start to feel a bit different between the two. Facepro feels more like a modern tech setup. You connect it to an app first, and it runs a quick hearing test that takes around 5 minutes. After that, it builds a sound profile that matches your hearing. What's nice is, you do not really need to keep going back to the app. Once it is set, it just works in the background, and you can still tweak most things directly from the device when needed. On the other hand, Tomore Mini Pro takes a much simpler route. No app, no hearing test, no pairing at all. You charge it, pick your ear tips, put it in, and it is ready. And honestly, for a lot of people, that feels easier. Some just do not want extra apps or setup steps, especially older users. They just want something that works right out of the box. And its controls are also kept very simple. One press adjusts volume, holding the button switches modes. It even remembers your last setting, so you are not setting it up again every time you use it. So yeah, it really just comes down to what kind of experience you prefer. Now let's talk about the part that matters most, which is how these actually sound in daily use. On paper, both use 16-channel digital processing, so both are far more advanced than basic sound amplifiers. But they don't sound exactly the same. Facepro feels more refined and controlled. Voices come through cleanly, and there's a certain smoothness to the presentation. During conversations, especially one-on-one discussions, speech sounds natural rather than overly boosted. Part of that comes from its 16-channel WDRC processing. Instead of simply making everything louder, it constantly adjusts amplification based on the incoming sound. So if somebody suddenly raises their voice or a louder sound appears in the environment, the transition feels more controlled. Now, Tomore Mini Pro feels slightly more aggressive with speech enhancement. Voices jump forward more quickly, which can actually be beneficial for people who have a harder time following conversations. Its maximum output reaches 117 decibels SPL compared to Facepro's 111 decibels. You won't necessarily notice that number directly, but you can feel the extra amplification when conversations become challenging. What impressed us was that Tomore doesn't just increase volume, it still does a good job separating voices from surrounding sounds. For natural sound, we'd lean toward the Facepro, and for stronger speech assistance, Tomore has the edge. Now let's talk about practicality, because this is where the differences become easier to notice. The best thing we liked about the Facepro was its adaptability. One moment we were sitting in a quiet room, and the next we were outside with traffic noise and people talking nearby. The hearing aid adjusted naturally without drawing attention to itself. A big part of that comes from its 4 listening modes: Quiet Comfort, Speech Boost, Classic Listen, and Music Enjoy. Now Music and Joy caught our attention right away because most hearing aids focus almost entirely on speech. Music usually feels like an afterthought. The Facepro handles it better than we expected. Music sounds fuller, vocals stay clear, and instruments have decent separation. Now, is it replacing a good pair of headphones? Of course not. But for a hearing aid, it delivers a surprisingly enjoyable listening experience. On the other hand, the biggest strength of the Tomore Mini Pro is its noise reduction mode. Whether you're in a crowded restaurant or a busy cafe, it does a good job pushing conversations forward without making the surrounding environment feel overwhelming. I noticed this most during group discussions. Instead of hearing a wall of noise, it became much easier to focus on whoever was speaking. Tomore also includes a tinnitus masking mode. Not everyone will need it, but for people who deal with constant ringing in their ears, this could easily become one of the most valuable features on the device. In fact, for some users, that feature alone could make the buying decision very simple. Both perform well here. The Facepro delivers over 25 hours from the hearing aids themselves, while the charging case pushes total runtime beyond 100 hours. The Tomore offers around 16 hours per charge, but its case extends total usage to about 105 hours. In everyday use, both can easily get through a full day. The difference is that Facepro spends less time back in the charging case. Well, we feel Facepro comes out as the more complete package. That mix of 16-channel processing, Bluetooth streaming, personalized hearing setup, and 25+ hours of battery life just makes it more flexible for everyday use. But Tomore Mini Pro 6120 still holds its ground really well. Its compact design, 117 decibel output, speech-focused tuning, and super simple controls make it a solid pick, especially for first-time users. It does its job well, no question there. So yeah, Facepro leans more modern and versatile, while Tomore sticks to a very focused, simple approach. In the end, it really depends on what you care about more. You go for modern features and connectivity, or you keep it simple with speech-first performance.